Calvin Castine here. It's July 17th, 2025, and yesterday it was announced that Amazon was coming to the village and town of Champlain, and we're going to do a little report to show where the location will be. We're looking at the county tax map, and we're going to use one hand to hold the camera and one to point with our pen. This is what's known as Walnut Street. This large building over here, a series of buildings, was the former Sheridan Iron Works, Harris Graphics, and now Susie buildings. And if you go to the east side of that on Elm Street and go up to the back, and you come to Oculton Drive off Walnut, and this is the parcel of land that we are looking at. We're going to talk to Molly Ryan from the Clinton County IDA to find out what she knows. This property is listed here as 18 acres. The news release said they'd bought 17 acres, so I don't know if they bought the entire property. The entry we have been told they might be using is going to be up through the Walnut Street area, but it does apparently abut on Paquette Drive, Lawrence Paquette Industrial Drive. So we'll take a physical look at that location, and then we'll talk to Molly and see what we can learn about this. What could be an exciting adventure here to the northern country and the northern tier in particular. We're now on Route 11, about 3/4 of a mile east of the Route 9, Route 11 intersection. We're going by Kevin Trombley's auto repair shop and crossing the Elm Street area. We're looking at things through our windshield. We're not paying any attention to where the camera is pointing, so we're hoping the camera is pointing in the right direction, or we're not going to be silly enough to be looking at the camera and not at the road. So we're going to turn on Lawrence Paquette Industrial Drive, and we'll drive down here a short ways to what may or may not be the back entrance to the property, because the property in question is listed at 18 acres on the tax map, and it's information we had was that Amazon bought 17 acres, so it may or may not be in this area here. They may have bought the access to the Paquette Drive, or they may not have. We're not sure as we cross the Harry McManus recreation trail. We have turned around and now on the other side, back on the other side of the trail. So the back of the property in question, we believe, is somewhere in this area here. So it looked like it was a wooded, damp area, so there may not really be any access to it through here, and this is where I think the access would be, because it could be some kind of a wetland type of situation, but we don't know that. And that's again where the back of the property showed up. We're now going to head to Walnut Street and Cotton Drive, or Cotton Lane, or whatever it's called. We'll find out shortly. So we are off Paquette Drive, heading down Elm, and incidentally, many years ago, this was Route 11. Route 11 went right through the village of Champlain, and this was Elm Street, and that diversion was put in probably 40 or so years ago, maybe even 50 years ago. It was after the Northway came in 67. So here is ahead is the former Harris Graphics buildings, and this is Walnut Street. Oculton was located here, and there's a little side road here called Cotton, or Coton, C-O-T, 1T, Colton. And that's where we're on now. So this, we believe, is where Amazon will be coming in, and looks like they've already started to do some work here. So we're awaiting the arrival of Molly Ryan, and we'll see what she can tell us. Camera's now pointed in a generally southerly direction, and this is the strip of land we believe is involved. This is what the acreage looks like. Over there, there's cornfields belonging to Drew's Poultry Grain Farm. But a nice area here, obviously an area where expansion is possible. I doubt if they're going to turn all this into a huge parking lot. We got with us Molly Ryan, and I'm going to let Molly introduce herself and tell us what her official title is.
Hello.
Titles, I should say.
Yep, titles. Molly Ryan. I am the Economic Development Director for Clinton County, as well as the Executive Director for the Clinton County Industrial Development Agency, which is a organization that provides tax incentives to companies trying to set up shop or expand here in Clinton County.
Okay, full disclosure here, we did a previous version of this interview, and 269 people online had seen it. Yes. And now I've had to delete it because we found out a little further information. We took a best guess, because when you look at a location known as Paquette Drive, that tree line doesn't look like a
Correct.
entryway.
Yes, correct. It's part of the same industrial park. We just had the wrong road earlier, so
yeah, so
still TDC's property.
Right, and it's coming in off up here. And
yes.
And what do you know about it, Molly?
So this is a really exciting announcement. TDC has been working for 2 years now, working with Amazon, who will be building a 60,000-ish square foot facility here, distribution facility. It's part of Amazon's rural delivery center model to help better serve clients and customers in rural areas and get products. And we know that we don't have specific job numbers at this point. We're being told conservatively around 40-ish, could be less, could be more, and potential for expansion in the future. This is I believe it's almost an 18-acre parcel, so this was sold by TDC to Amazon, and so that gives them room for expansion for sure.
Yeah, the eastern boundary there does have a little thing that butts onto Paquette Drive, and when I drove by there, it looks like it's a very wet area, so whether they bought that or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the details. This was a labor of love by TDC. As the Economic Development Director for the county, we're thrilled that this announcement is being made. Any development, job creation that is happening, whether it's the southern tier, the northern tier, we're delighted to see expansion like this, and we thank TDC for their hard work in getting this across the finish line, as well as the town of Champlain and the village of Champlain.
In our earlier interview, I mentioned that we'd gotten Dave Champagne from Development Corporation. He was the head man when we did that, and you're guessing about 3 years ago?
Yeah, about 3 years ago is when I was first hired, and so that was about 3 years ago that we came up and toured the property together with local officials and yourself included. And yeah, they've kind of re-upped the game, so to speak, I hope. And if people want to see it, they can go to the TDC's website. The property is there, and they can see what it is, and we'll dream about what it's going to look like in the future.
Yes, because it'd been a while since anything came in here, and initially when they first put this area in off of Larry Lawrence Paquette Drive, quite a few businesses came in, but I think as people involved change and so on, they didn't realize what they had here.
Yeah.
So when we brought Dave up here, we got him to realize what the potential is up here.
Yeah, it's it's a true North Country gem. You couldn't find a better location. It's a few miles from the border. We're only about 35 miles south of Montreal, which has the Port of Montreal. Rail access is right here, and it's in a beautiful setting too, near the lake. So yeah, it's an absolute. It's going to do some really great things for the northern tier, and we hope that this will spur even more business interest in this area.
Yeah, once they get on Elm Street and go a short distance, they're right on Route 11, a busy east-west corridor, and then when they get on there, they're a mile and a half away from the Northway,
Exactly.
I-87. So
Yep.
that's a great area to travel, and
Very accessible.
this Champlain border crossing area is usually in the top four or five in the northern border,
Yes.
from here all the way, from
Yeah.
Maine all the way to.
And anything we can do
Washington.
to foster our relationship with cross-border trade and our friends to the north, we're here for it. That's what we hope to do.
Yeah, we don't know if this will involve much of that, but time will
Time
tell
will
us.
tell. Certainly, you've got to believe that location and proximity to the border must have had something to do with the decision.
I would think so.
Far be it for me to second guess what Amazon's decisions are, but that seems like a pretty obvious one. So I imagine we would see some sort of international relationship at some point.
Yes, and you talk 40 employees. You look back at history books in 1928 when Harris, McKenna, and Harrison came to Rouse's Point. They had maybe a handful of employees,
Right.
and they grew to well over 1,200 before they ended up moving on because another company had bought them and had other plans. But
Yep, and
things can grow.
Certainly, and so we know we have. I think you'd said earlier. We know we have the workforce here. We know that we're ready and able to employ those people, and it will just be a fantastic relationship for everybody.
Yeah, when this place over here behind the house here is the former Harris Graphics building, and when that closed, there was at least 500 or 600 people that worked there. Plus, you had
Yep.
Wyeth going. So,
Yep.
We're near Vermont. We're probably located here, probably 6 miles from Vermont for the
Absolutely,
bridge.
absolutely.
I know we had workers from there that came to Sheridan when I was there, and so that Route 11 corridor and Route 9, and so people from all over the northern part of the county and beyond were able to come up here and work. So
Absolutely, and so this is obviously a facility that has the ability to expand, and we will do everything we can to help them foster their growth and employ even more people in Clinton County.
all right, so that's great news. Anything else you'd like to add, Molly, at this point?
I don't think so. We're just excited to see them get off the ground and get started.
And for any out-of-towners, this is our typical daily weather here: bright sunshine.
Yes, every day of the year. Yes, of course, of course.
So if you're thinking about locating, you can find a sunnier place.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right, thank you, Molly.
All right, thanks.
And just for old time's sakes, for the old former Sheridan Ironworks, Harris Graphics employees, I'll take a spin around the back of the building here as we head back to Elm Street. I worked here for 10 years, and then my wife Judy worked here for 15 years, right up to the very end when they closed.